What's great to the launch of the Honda Civic Coupe is in British Columbia, driving between Vancouver and Whistler. It's called the Sea to Sky Highway, and you can see why here. This color is called Energy Green, and the Civic has a lot of energy around it right now. It's won North American Car of the Year, Canadian Car of the Year, and this car is based on the Civic platform, but it has some changes. The wheelbase is the same length as the sedan. It's 5 inches shorter and 1 inch lower, giving it a much more dynamic look. You also notice that the windows have been touched in a little bit at the back, making the fenders around the rear wheels look bold, and it has a nice looking stance to it. I think that Honda has done a fantastic job with styling, and they've thrown so much at this car to make it really the leader in its class. So we're going to take it for a drive, find out what changes there are to the inside, and see if it still is the car of the year. Now, before we get driving with the new Civic Coupe, I want to talk about a few differences. As I mentioned on the outside, the roof is lower by 1 inch over the sedan, but the seats remain at the same level, and there is still headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, even with the sunroof here. My head isn't touching, so that's good. And the pivot point of your hips on this car is about the same as the Audi TT, which means that you have a very low seating position, which is one of the reasons why this car feels so sporty. You're sitting lower in the car. Now, you do get the Honda Lanewatch. You turn the right signal on, and the right mirror has a camera under it and it illuminates in the screen. That's good stuff. Couple of differences between the Canadian cars and the US cars. In Canada, we get paddle shifters available on the turbocharged engine, and we also get wireless charging. You take your smartphone and you put it behind the shifter here down here, and it wirelessly charges the phone every single time you're driving. Not available in the United States, those two features, but they are in Canada, which is great to see. Now, talking to the product planners here, I mentioned the fact that there's no volume control on the head unit, and there is one on the steering wheel, and they do sort of reluctantly agree. They're hearing that feedback from other reviewers and from customers, so it looks like maybe, just maybe, there could be a volume knob coming in the Honda Civic in the future, and hopefully all Honda products, as that's a strategy they've taken, and I'm not a big fan of it. So the two engines are carried over, 158 horsepower 2-liter engine and the 1.5-liter turbo with 174 horsepower. Now, I've been driving the turbocharged with a continuously variable transmission, but that's another change that's coming for 2017. You're going to be able to get the manual transmission with the turbocharged engine coming for the 2017 model year. And another thing is, unlike the sedan, the Coupe can, on the base trim all the way up to the Touring, either have the Honda Sensing Active Safety Suite included as standard equipment like you would on the Touring, or it's available as an option for about $1,000. You get the automatic cruise control, the low-speed automatic stopping, the automatic braking, the lane keeping, all of that kind of stuff. And if you're going to buy this car, spend the $1,000 and get that safety suite, because it really is fantastic. And you know what? We have been driving from Vancouver to Whistler and back through the mountains, and this car feels like a more expensive car. So it starts around $20,000. It feels like a $40,000 car. The responsiveness of the turbocharged engine is fantastic. The suspension is really dialed in, and the Civic was never known for being quiet. This car is much quieter. They improved the amount of air and noise that gets into the car by over 70% with this latest generation of the Civic, and it really is noticeable. So do yourself a favor and try this car. On top of that, they adjusted the suspension, including the springs, the shocks, and even the control arms or sway bars to give it a slightly stiffer ride, and that really is noticeable when you get it into the corners here in the mountains. Fantastic. We're really enjoying driving this car. Well, the Civic is the car that keeps on giving. We keep on getting new models. This is the latest one. It's the Coupe. Then we're getting the hatchback. Then there's going to be SI versions and then R. And also, for fans that love manual transmissions, you're going to be able to get the manual with the turbocharged engine. Right now, the pricing starts at $19,500 for the Coupe, goes up to $27,500. And even on the base model, you can get that Honda Sensing Advanced Safety Suite, which I do recommend for about $1,000. So Honda is on a roll, and the Civic just keeps on coming. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. If you'd like to watch a full review of the Honda Civic sedan, click the picture on the left.